How's the market starting out, and how do you see it going this year? I think the market's generally got better. So for us, I think part of the problem here is we're all looking at those prices from 3 years ago. We're looking at, or 4 or 5 years ago. We're looking at those prices in 2020 when COVID was in full swing. A lot of people had some stimulus money to spend. A lot of people had lost their jobs or they were stay at home. This is the perfect time to have a puppy, secondary income source. All of those things blew this thing up. Anybody had a puppy for sale, those puppies went immediately. Prices, so here your classic situation, demand goes up, supply is not increased yet, prices go up. That's what happened. And for those of us who had puppies, it was wonderful. Now it's gone the other way around. Now you've got a lot of people who weren't sure probably that they were going to get a French Bulldog or they're going to get a dog, period, decided to do so because of the COVID situation. And now some of those people are deciding, well, it's not quite as easy as I thought it was going to be, or it's not quite as easy to sell these dogs. Anyway, because of all that, we all of a sudden had lots of supply and lower demand. The demand was already done. All the people who ever thought buying a dog in 2020 bought a dog in 2020 and didn't wait for 2021 or 2022. So all the dogs that were available basically went. Because of that, now we're in a situation that all those people, a lot of them have been breeding dogs. Now we've got lots of supply and the demand is actually lower. Prices drop. But I think, so for us, Tammy and myself, we have done pretty well through all of this. If I look at the prices of our dogs versus what they were pre-COVID, they are higher now and have been through the entire duration than they were pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, we had lilacs and blue and tans. They were $5,000 dogs. They're more than $5,000 dogs these days. Now, some of that's because our blue and tans and lilac and tans have got other colors in there, and they've probably got better pedigree than they've ever had. But the market's still pretty solid, and I think it's getting better. So I would say this to you. What are you going to do to make your bottom line look better? Because that's what this is about, right? That's why, if anybody says, oh, the market's down, what they're saying is it's harder for me to make money on what I'm doing. So there's people out there who think that we shouldn't be selling dogs, we shouldn't be doing any of this. Peter thinks it's horrible. We're not talking about any of that stuff. That's got nothing to do with this conversation at all. They're completely entitled to their own feelings about this, but that's not the conversation we're having here. We're having a conversation about what do you do to get dogs into nice homes and make money at it. And there's a number of things that you should be doing. The first one is cut your costs. If you are spending money on stuff that you don't need, don't do it. You've got to have decent food, but a lot of this other stuff, you may be spending money on stuff that really isn't helping that much because you got used to these prices back in 2019, 2020, and you weren't worried about the money side of it. I tell you, anytime the businesses get lean, it's the first thing you got to do is you've got to consolidate your expenses, understand what your expenses are, and cut out all the frill, cut out all the stuff. That's the first thing. Cut your expenses. The second thing is, produce, of course, the quality dogs that you would want to buy yourself. Then be very proactive. If people ask you questions about your dogs, answer those questions immediately. Don't leave them hanging because they may go somewhere else. Answer the question immediately. And if they say things that you don't like about your dogs, have a conversation about what they're saying. That may just be their sales philosophy to try and beat you up on price. But, if somebody says something about your dog, oh, it's got a long tail, and it does, then admit it. Say, yeah, it does have a long tail, but everything else about this dog is top notch. So there is, every dog has a wart, and that tail's a little bit long. But it doesn't mean it'll produce all long-tailed dogs. So, if somebody says something that is true about your dog, heck, admit it. Just discuss it. If somebody just starts, belittling your dogs, then, maybe you just say at that point, it's like, well, I think it's a really nice dog, but maybe it's not the dog for you. Just, remember, probably 5 people are going to call you for every puppy that you sell. It might be 10. So I don't mean to go offend people, but I'm saying here is that, if your dogs have got great qualities, point them out. If your dogs have things that aren't so good, own up to it, right? Then the next thing is where do you advertise? If you're advertising only in your backyard, then you've got a fairly small area that the potential customers. So if you can expand that area so it's the whole of the United States, then you're probably going to do a lot better. I mean, example would be here in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not the best place to sell really nice French Bulldogs. We do sell some here, but a majority of them go to Florida, New York, Colorado, Texas, California. Those are where I'd say at least half our dogs go to those 5 states. So how do you do that? You've got to advertise in those areas. One of the great places to advertise, by the way, is simply YouTube. The wonderful thing about YouTube is you can put a video together on YouTube. Lots and lots of people potentially will see it, and you end up with a link that you can send somebody to show them all about your dog. You don't have to send them a movie they can't download. And by the way, good, nice, great pictures. If you're taking shitty pictures, stop. If you're taking shitty pictures, start taking videos and then screenshot the right pictures out of those videos. It's amazing that most videos, the videos that we produce, it's a one-shot deal. 5 minutes worth of video. I might wash it through iMovie just to get rid out of any kind of herky-jerky stuff in there. But I can then take screenshots out of that. And I mean, it's really simple to do. Get really good movies, get good pictures, as opposed to taking still shots that are an absolute nightmare. And then, so I think if you're not doing those things, hopefully that kind of things that you should be thinking about.